Go.
Grandpa,
Yep.
I'm Peirce. Ready?
I'm always ready.
What do you remember about your own grandparents?
Well, my grandma's cooking because she cooked good German food. And if you didn't eat it all, you got it the next morning. And you got it till you finished it.
What else?
And my grandpa, I remember going with him out to the farm when they slaughtered a horse or cow to get part of it. He always took me with him so Grandma wouldn't think he'd stop and get a drink. But he always stopped at the bar and had a drink, and he'd always give me money to play the slot
machine?
Pinball machines, because he figured I wouldn't tell Grandma. And he's right, I never told Grandma, but Grandma knew because she could smell it. And it was just, they were great people, and I loved the whole time I stayed with them. And that was from just about when I was born till I went in the Army almost.
Wow.
Ready? Are you sure? How did you spend your free time back in the day?
Oh, we did a lot of things. I had a 1931 Model 8 pickup, the best car I ever had. It was stick shift, and it didn't have a lot of power because it was the original engine. And a bunch of us guys, we'd always go places, but on Sunday night, we'd always go out to Lakeside so we could watch the races, car races. Back then, Lakeside had car races, and it was a lot of fun. And then when you got done, you went in to see if there were any girls in Lakeside. And it was pretty cheap back then to ride rides and that. We always had fun. I did everything. There was a group of us that pretty much stayed together for all 4 years. And we got tossed in jail one night because we were at the tournament at St. Joseph's for basketball. And we got done with the basketball game, and there was this one place on Washington Street, a little corner drugstore that was in the middle of the block, and they sold beer. And so we could always go there and get a little beer. It was 3-2 beer back then. And so we got the beer that night and put it in a trunk, and we went out on the High Line Canal out by the Evans Drive-In Theater, and we just got there, and the sheriff stopped us and said we were stealing cars, and we weren't. He says, well, we got fingerprints, so you're all going in. And we went in, and they threw us in jail that night. We were in there with a couple drunks that were really soused. One of them fell out of the top bunk and bloodied up his face a little. And Then one of the dads came out to get us out because they called them. They had a call to tell them where we were. And we were up singing and having a party. And so he said they'd have to come back in the morning to get us because we were making too much noise. I don't know what the morning had to do with it, but then we got done, and we decided we better go tell Sister Ludvina. She was the principal of the school, because we didn't want them to think that we did something wrong, because the way rumors are, they might have even had us convicted of murder or something by the time we went to school on Monday. So we go out, ring the bell, and ask for Sister Ludvina. The nuns all lived in one big house right by the high school. And so she comes out, and we tell her, and she says, "Well, I'd expected of you guys, but not you, Ron." And that's Ron Marion. He was always with us too. And we said Ron Marion was the one that always made beer, homebrew. And we couldn't believe that she said that. She couldn't believe it to him. And that was that. And so we went to school. We never had any problems with it. They found out we didn't do it. They knew we didn't do it. But we got the car on Sunday, got the car back, and the strangest thing about it was they did such a good job, the police. Our beer was right where we left it. So we didn't have to look for it. Not just one of the incidents. We did a lot of things together. Most of the times when we took my truck out to Lakeside, there'd be two of us in the front, because that's all that would fit in the front, and 3 or 4 would be in the back. Well, they had hills going to Lakeside. Well, my truck wouldn't pull it up with everybody in it, so they had to get out while we got to the top of the hill, and then they get back in, and it'd go good downhill. And I never missed a day of school. Never skipped school once. And the reason is because we had so much fun. I was afraid I'd miss something. Although the nuns did whack me a few times with a ruler and hit me with a razor, but that just goes with going to Catholic school.
All right.
That's it. I don't know what else you want me to tell you.
No, I got another question.
You got another question? Yeah. Okay. I got another answer.
How did you meet Grandma?
How did I meet her? Well, I was in Vietnam, you know that. And then I got out and I went back to the job I had at Samsonite. And after a couple days there, I said, this isn't what I want to do. I want to be a cop. That's the best job in the world. And I learned that from being an MP in the Army. And so Denver was looking for
Officers.
policemen, and Aurora was. So I put in for both of them, and Aurora called me right away, and I went in and took all the tests and that, and passed, and I got hired there, and Grandma was working in records, and so that's how I met her. And we started going out, and we got married. And it's been a great life. I got no complaints whatsoever.
Four.
Fourth question.
Okay.
What was your greatest challenge in life?
You know, I don't know if I had any real great challenges. I think raising kids, because they were always fighting, and I wouldn't hit them because I wouldn't spank them even, because I saw too much of that when I was working, of child abuse. And so they got away with a lot with me. And, you know, I don't think I had any, I had challenges at work, but that's, you know, if you're a cop, you get challenges almost daily. But, I mean, as far as life, I didn't have any challenges because we had 2 kids, and then we had all of the grandkids, you 5 and Derek's 2. And I love everybody, and I just can't emphasize how much you guys all mean to me.
I'm not done.
And now it's time for Paige to ask me a question or 2 or 3. And the questions are probably longer than my answers.
Oh. No, they're not. God.
Okay, number 1 from Paige.
Who is...
With the orange fingernails, except one white one.
Who is the most important person in your life?
Grandma, without a doubt. We've been married almost 50 years now, and it's been a great 50 years. And then after that, it's all my grandkids, each and every one of them.
Yes.
I don't favor any of them, even though Preston and Peirce think I favor them, but then Peirce thinks I favor him, and you think I favor you.
Because you do.
But I favor everybody. That's just me.
Are you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
What's your favorite memory with each grandchild? Starting with the youngest, Andrew.
With the youngest?
Yeah, starting with Andrew. Or favorite thing about them?
I think Andrew's is because he wants to be a cook. And when he was younger, and no one knows where he got it, but he wants to put fennel in everything. And I think if anyone becomes a chef, he will. Logan, he's pretty smart. I don't know if he's smarter than me yet, but I just love being around him. And then it comes
Peirce.
to Paris and Preston. Because they're twins, they were born on the same day. And we were in Australia because your mom was supposed to have them later.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got on the plane and found out that she was in labor. And, you know, I asked the pilot to step on it a little, but, you know, pilots won't do that. They don't have any fun in them. You know, they don't want to go too fast. But we got home and we landed in LA, and we had a run to United to get to Denver right away. And we made it, and they were already born, and they were both in NICU. And so I couldn't hold them right away, but I held them as soon as I could. And I babysat them all, them from when they were born, and I changed their diaper, and Preston's gonna have to change my diaper when I get to that age and have that kind of problems. And he said he won't do it, but I know he would. And then it comes to Peirce. And Peirce, I think, has, when he makes up his mind to do something, he's going to do it. And his mother doesn't realize even yet that the way you get Peirce to not do something is say, go ahead, that's all right. And then he won't want to do it because you are good with it. But that's the way he is. And he does a lot. And everyone helps me, all of the grandkids. And even if they don't take the trash out or something and leave before they do a chore, it doesn't matter to me because them just being here makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that question.
Well, what about me and Peyton?
Oh, I forgot. Oh, I was only to 3. I got to learn how to count. Then you. A lot of the time, you were a prima donna. I love to go watch you dive. You were good at it, and I wish you would have kept at it because you were good at it. And I just babysit you all the time too, and Peirce. And then I retired, so I could babysit all of you. Because I'd rather do it than have you go to someone I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Peyton, she was the first grandchild, and she does a lot of dumb things. Like she goes kayaking in a number 4 river, and she'd never been before. And luckily, the friends she went with, I wouldn't call them too good of friends because they took her to that kind of river right away without being trained. And when I talked to her, she says, Grandpa's really scared. I says, yeah, and you were really dumb. I says, you can't do that. You gotta learn from the start. You can't go in and be an expert at anything
But aren't you proud
the
of her?
first time.
Aren't you proud of her?
Huh?
Aren't you proud of her, though?
Yeah.
Go first.
I think, she had the problem and she beat it, and she's staying clean now, and now she's gonna work at the school up in Leadville. And I know she misses it here, but eventually she'll find a boy she loves and they'll get married. And maybe I'll have a great grandchild before I die. Because I'd like that. I'd like to babysit another baby. Because I like babies a lot more than teenagers.
Are you ready for the next one?
If you're ready to ask me.
What is one of the most important lessons you've learned in life?
What's one of the most important things, what?
One of the most important lessons you've learned in life.
I think probably the most important is to learn how to get along with people and to be honest. Because then you always have them for friends. If you do it and try to stab someone in the back to get further ahead, you're not respected then. And, in my job, I hope, and I think most of them respected me, because most of the ones I really knew came to my going away party, and they did a lot of drinking. And I didn't do that much that time, but my life has been great. I don't regret 1 minute of it.
There's one more question.
And that's the way I feel.
Okay, are you ready for the last one?
Yep.
What is one thing you want your grandchildren, children, your wife, everyone to remember once you're gone? And what do you want them
Once
to
I'm
do with their
gone,
lives once
I
you're
want
gone?
them to remember me.
It's hard to forget, but...
And, I want everyone to remember that with any luck, I'll be up where I can watch you all the time. And I hope I get that chance. And I guess that's up to me and God.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried to be good. No one's perfect. I think the only one perfect that's ever been in this world is Jesus. And I would hope I'm decent enough to earn the right to be up there so I can watch everyone all the time.
Sure you are.
And that's it.
That's it? That's all you want us to remember?
What I want you guys to remember?
What do you want us to remember you by?
What do you want, and how do you want us to remember you? And what do you want us to continue doing once you're gone?
I want you to remember that, you can do anything you really want to if you set your mind to it. And, it's hard to think of something else. I'd like everyone to have good memories of me. And I think everyone does pretty much. No matter what your mom says, I think she kind of likes me and is proud of me. And that's all a person can want in life, is his kids and grandkids to appreciate them and think they were good. And I think everyone thinks that. But if they don't, I'll have to smack them. And that's it.
Yeah. That's it?
That's it. I can't think of nothing else. Except I love you all. And I've had a great life. And I hope I live a little longer so I can get older. And I haven't met all the doctors at the VA yet, and I want to do that. I've seen most of them, but there's probably one or two I haven't gone to for something. And that's about it.
You sure?
I'm sure.
All right.